Let's Get Down to Business is presented by Bravo, the marketing arm of Ash Brokerage Corporation, the practice enhancement company. All this week, it's the Business Succession Blueprint. And on today's show, the business flow process with special guest Nate Sachs, the creator and architect of the Blueprints for Tomorrow. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and contributing author to Backroom Technician. Let's get down to business. Well, welcome to the show, Nate.
Thank you, Steve.
Day two.
Day two.
Well, we're talking about Nate because he is a top-of-the-table producer, has been making serious contributions to the insurance field, and of course expanded into the financial market way a long time ago. When I decided I needed to get my Series 7, right? I remember those days, dark days. But today we're talking about a little bit about the blueprint, and I want to kind of introduce this because when I think of being an architect, I think about rolling out a big blueprint. I watch shows that highlight their blueprints when they were on a redo. Maybe it's a house makeover or extreme makeover or a bar rescue.
You got me on that now, Hook.
And did you like it?
I did.
And he's the greatest. And I've been looking at different businesses and approaches. I've been watching lately, by the way, MSNBC's The Profit. Unbelievable show. And I have to say, yesterday's episode was a killer. I thought they were going to go to fisticuffs. When we're talking about business flow, I think people don't understand chronology. I don't think we understand there are steps in place that build upon one another. And I think that's where we mess up. I don't think we're a people that look at chronology.
We don't have processes any longer.
Right.
When you and I started, we actually had sales tracks. We had sales tracks to engage the business owner. And then we lost our way. We were asked to wear so many hats by the carriers and be so many different kinds of people. This is all this is. It's a glorified sales track to engage the business owner into talking to us.
But this is, I have to say, this is I got it on the first pass. That was my big thing that I liked about it was methodical and yet it had simplicity. I love elegance when it's simplified. And I can see, oh, here's where we're going. Next step, build upon one another. Talk about a basic idea of the flow chart. Walk us through. There's about 6 steps here. And of course, we're showing this up on our screen. And I just want you to walk through the 6 steps a little bit, just real quick.
I understand one thing you said, simplicity. Business owners hate complexity. And all advisors are notorious for complicating their lives. So we kept it simple. We start with what's called a what-if session. It's 20 minutes only. Simply an opportunity to introduce myself, the program, show them where the program would be of value and let them decide. That leads hopefully to what we call the starter session, which is the engagement session. It's also only 30 minutes.
So you're really holding yourself to the feet of the fire on
Totally.
this 20 minutes issue, first contact.
It's not 21 minutes, it's 20.
20 minutes, first contact, that's it.
Which is a breath of fresh air for them. No one's ever come in and said, I want 20 minutes and taken it and left. The starter session is 30 minutes, and that's where I ask them some very, very unique questions. They're great questions because they're difficult answers. Again, not financial, heart and soul. I want them to identify in that 30 minutes what are the demons chasing them around that room at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, but you know, when you talk like this, you're so pastoral, you're so rabbinical about it. You know, I mean, it's like you're exchanging your advisory, financial advisory, right, for more of a psychological lay across my couch and talk to me.
That's the role I play. I'm the anti-advisor. Let the rest of the advisors talk to them like advisors. I want to talk to them as a friend, as a mentor, as someone who's got solutions.
Well, when I think about this, talk to me about I'm looking at this third one here about the planning sessions. I'm done with my planning session. I did my 30 minutes. What's my next step?
We finished the starter session. We narrowed it down to maybe 1 or 2 blueprints. There's 14 opportunities. There's 14 opportunities for the business owner to engage us.
Now, is he making that selection of the 14 or are you steering it?
I'm on his agenda. I'm not going to be like everybody else. It's what's important to him, not what I think is important to him. He picks a blueprint. I don't build the building for him. I don't show him how to build the building. I show him how it's going to look. I play the role of financial architect. In a series of 30-minute planning sessions, and no longer than 30 minutes, I'll lay that blueprint out. And each blueprint's got its own toolbox. Specimen documents, could be backroom technician, products, solutions, other advisors. And then twice a year, once we get that blueprint design, at no additional cost, I'm going to come back and ask that we pull that blueprint off the shelf. Let's now implement it. Let's review it. Now let's get that building built.
When I think about that, you've done your 6 and how long does that take to do all 6 of your flow,
well,
your
the
business
what-if
flow?
session is 20 minutes. The starter session is 30 minutes.
That's a second appointment.
Second appointment. The blueprints are a series of 4 to 8 to 9 30-minute planning sessions. Now understand, Steve, they're spread out over maybe 3 or 4 or 5 months. So in the business owner's mind, we've had a very long-lasting relationship. But think about it from an advisor's perspective, there's only 5 or 6 hours of planning involved.
How did you come down to condense this, though? Because to me, you distilled a whole process down to basic bite-sized consumerese.
We spent a lot of money with neuromarketers, and they taught me 2 things I'll not forget. If you've not gotten that business owner's attention in the first 3 minutes, you're not going to get it. And after 12 minutes, you've already lost it. I don't care how good you are. They're already multitasking within their minds and nothing else. So we keep everything down to 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and they love it. They'll say, I love the fact you're coming in at 10 o'clock and you're out by 10:30. It's great. Very few cancellations.
Now, how long have you been doing this process now?
10 years.
10 years.
I'd say very close to 10 years.
And how many clients, direct business owners, have you spoken to over this last decade using this process?
I'd say I've taken close to 2,000 business owners through it. My goal is 200 in a given year.
I'm curious, why did you start to open this up beyond your own practice?
I began to make a lot of money, and I'm very simplified. I've got an excellent staff, but a small staff, not a lot of overhead. People that began to know me began to ask, how are you doing this? How are you bringing in this kind of commission with such a small operation? I said, it's this program I designed. And they said, hey, can we do it where we are? Next thing I know, we've got an affiliate program across the country.
Now, do you use that term, affiliate program?
It's an affiliate program.
So it's not really a franchise.
No, it's not a franchise at all. It's a licensing agreement. And then we work with Ash to get that done right.
Now, and you've seen so many people that have approached you now and are warm to all this.
Yes, we've had over 500 different advisors become licensees.
And this is in a short period of time because it's only been out on the street for what?
I'd
To
say about
advisors.
to advisors about the last 4 or 5 years.
Unreal. When we come back from the break, we're going to continue talking about the trap most business owners fall into, working in their business and not on it. And don't forget to request our business valuation and succession documents as sample examples from Backroom Technician at ashbrokerage.com. And you can sign up for your own 30-day free trial offer from Backroom Technician. Just go out to their website, www.brtnow.com/trial-sign-up.aspx. We'll be right back with Nate Sachs right after the break.
Take a close look at your hard-earned dollar. How do you think your money's doing? Are you keeping an eye on it? Is it protected from taxes, inflation, and market risk? Over time, those Washingtons could become Franklins. With tax-advantaged indexed universal life, from one of the largest distributors of Index Universal Life, Ash Brokerage.
Well, welcome back. I'm Steve Savant with Nate Sachs. And remember, you can visit Nate's website at www.bftadvisors.com. And if you're thinking about selling your own practice, take Nate's survey at www.blueprintsfortomorrow.com/sellability score. And just a heads up, before moving forward with any of the ideas on the show, always consult your tax advisor or legal counsel, as well as your broker-dealer compliance officer. Well, let's get down to business. We're talking about the number one trap that most business owners fall into. I have to admit it, I've been in that trap. They're working in their business. I mean, they're so deep in it that these guys are franchise players. If you unplug them, the whole business falls apart.
Exactly right.
Talk about how do I make, let's even say people get you now and they say, I believe what you're saying, Nate. How can I make this transfer? How can I before I can transition my own business, I got to change my ways of doing it.
First, I point out several similarities. And I say similarities because they're all the same. Every business owner I talk to takes care of their employees, their vendors, their customers, their clients, not themselves. Most of them have far too much wealth invested in their own businesses. They're a house of cards if they would die or become sick, creating some exposure for those they care about. Keep for lifers, the 2 or 3 people that they need to see stay till the end not being locked in properly, assets not being protected in the case of a lawsuit. If they have an estate plan, it's generally outdated, and soft issues, Steve. They've lost balance. They're making a living, but they're not making a life. They're not sure they own that business or it owns them. And about once a week, I hear someone that owns a company or a business today say, hey, you know what? I feel like I'm running an adult daycare center. So let's change that paradigm. Let's work on it, not in it.
I noticed in our thing, we have this posted up on our board here. I noticed you broke this up into 3 problems.
Yes.
Your 3 basic. Why don't you just give me the kind of the short problem 1, problem 2, problem 3.
Problem 1 is basically, how do I get out? You know, what if I don't want to do this any longer? My objective is also to protect what they've worked so hard to create. Protect it from death, disability, adverse taxation, loss of key employees, lawsuits, the economy. But also to help them get some growth, to get cash flow, to get reoccurring revenue, to really get that business to hit its potential. And then the soft issues, sleeping at night, getting some balance back, feeling like they're in control, it's not controlling them, and they're not running an adult daycare center.
When I think about, I'm looking at problem 3. I love that, not sleeping at night. We know people are concerned about the economy. They're concerned about their business. They're concerned especially when they're transferring their business maybe to family members, sons, daughters, people that they're related to. And you really speak to some of this. We're going to get into this more tomorrow especially. But when I'm looking at this, these are the problems and these are identifying issues of working in your business. And for people to go stop that habit, because remember, a lot of us has been in that habit for 20, 30 years. It's hard to change your personality when it's in concrete.
Very hard. Very hard. But when I explain to them that what that business can do if they're working on it versus working in it, how it can really fulfill all their dreams. That's one of our blueprints, the dream maker. You got to detach yourself from it. You got to focus on what you do best, and you got to run it like a business, not let it run you.
You've been in this business almost 40 years. How did you do it? Now I know you. I remember us back in our days when we were young men, and you were a high producer.
That was a long time ago.
Working feverishly in your business. How did you, first of all, come to the side that you have to get out of that and work on your business, and then how did you do it?
This is going to be a statement that could be very confrontational or controversy. Most advisors today do not view themselves as business owners. They do not view themselves as business owners. They're glorified salespeople. And I desperately wanted to transition from a salesperson to a business owner that could help business owners. So with this program, I began to run my own business like a business.
And how did that, how long did it take you to move from working in your business to off your business?
I'd say probably a good year or two, but a lot of commitment. But I also, again, I was just tired. I was tired of constantly being commoditized and chasing commission and chasing sales and what product can I sell next?
I'm looking at your list, and this is a huge list that we have it posted on the screen here. And when I look at this list, I'm looking at all these people. I mean, when you say 4,000 advisors.
4 million.
4 million, I'm sorry. 4 million advisors are out there.
The SBA projects there are 4 million advisors that at any given day want these business owners' attention. And most of them come in on their agenda, not on the agenda of the business owner. They don't understand that business owners crave brevity. They don't have time for long meetings. The more complex the advisor can make it, the better it is for the advisor, not the business owner. We threaten each other. You and I have been doing this a long time. As recently as 10 years ago, we'd get together as a team and work for the business owner. Everybody's trying to do each other's job. Most of these people that own businesses are fee adverse, Steve. They don't want to pay for activity. They want to pay for results. We already talked about the curse of knowledge. There's so much white noise they don't know who to listen to. Everybody's doing a webinar, a seminar, something. And besides being working in versus working on, and that bunker mentality, we're all, accountants, attorneys, financial advisors, notorious for no follow-up. So their thinking is, why start? This guy probably won't come back anyway.
I think the last one is the one that really catches my eye because I cannot believe we're supposed to be the people of planning. We're supposed to be the people that actually set these things up and actually have a good working knowledge, and we're not following up the very things we start.
Do you know how many other advisors have it? Do you know how many attorneys I've called on and say, oh yeah, I've got a buy-sell agreement for him or her, and they file, oh, it's never been signed. No, we did the trust work, but we never got the document back. We're all guilty of that. So that's why I tell them every 6 months, as long as you own the company, you got me. I'm coming back.
When I think of how we've changed and how everything is moving toward this kind of mentality, this kind of more simplistic brevity, the knowledge, I don't have to dump the encyclopedia of all that I know on the client. And now I've quarantined myself with a short, easy to understand 20 to 30 minutes to introduce myself. That's our show for today. I have to say, this is where we need to go. Remember, you can read all my online insurance commentaries and my advisor blogs and articles on producersweb.com, and my answers to consumer questions on insurance products on insurancelibrary.com, as well as all my shows on my on-demand section located at ashbrokerage.com. So don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and email me at steve.savant@ashbrokerage.com. And remember, there's no one wiser than an Ash Brokerage advisor.